Hi, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Growth, and I wanted to talk to you about sight words. And I wanted to make sure that you've got your reading bags at home, and in your reading bag or somewhere in your house should be your kindergarten list of sight words. It's got all 46 or so sight words that are really important for us to have in our brains, popping by the time we leave kindergarten at the end of June, and we keep practicing them so our brains are sharp and ready for first grade to feel just right. So if you don't have yours, no worries. I have packed up a new list for you with all of your cubby things. So you'll be getting that very soon, okay? So today I wanted to concentrate on the third trimester because that's where we're at in our kindergarten year, right? We're in the final third of our kindergarten year. So I wanted to spend a little time talking about the sight words with you, and then you'll have a chance to practice them at the end. Okay, here we go. So this is a sight word, and it's also a word family. This is an. We already know that from our sight word can, C-A-N. So this is an. Sometimes you hear it in front of like a word like apple. An apple. May I have an apple, please? So when we see this, we say an. Great job. Put. Now I could tap this as I'm working on getting this in my brain. Put. Put. And then I say, that doesn't sound quite right. And then I go, oh, put. So our U, this is why it's a sight word and not totally a tap and sweep word, because our U is saying and usually U says so it's different. So our sight words are words that we want to just look at and know that I'm not still sounding them out, and that I know them in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then it pops in your brain. That's how quickly you want to be able to know your sight words. So what word was this again? That's right. Put. Good job, friends. This is another one that is tricky to sound out. So that's why it's on our just know it by heart. Just know it on sight. Was. Because our A is not saying and it's not saying its name. Was. It sounds more like a U. So lots of times when you guys are writing this word and you're writing W-U-S or W-U-Z. But it's on our list 3, so that means when you're writing, you should have this list nearby and your sight words should look just right. What word was this again? Was. Excellent. All right, how about this one? At first you might say, oh my, it's too big, Mrs. Growth. But I see 2 parts that you know in this word. We know this part right here. It's one of our H brothers. What part do we know here? It's a word family and a sight word. At. At that. Great job, friends. How about this one? So it looks a lot like our put, but it sounds a little bit different, right? It's but. I'd like to play outside, but there's thunder. Okay, but. Okay, this is one that we have to pay close attention to because we see it a lot, and we have to pay attention to what vowel is starting in the word. So this one is C-O-M-E. That's going to be come. Come. Lots of times we also see a word that looks just like this, and it has an A here, and that would be aim. Because then this becomes a silent E that's making the vowel say its name. But for this one, it's come. It's not making the O say its name. So it's a tricky word that we just need to practice so it can pop in our brain and we know it by heart. What do we see about this part that we know? Right. And then here we've got EY is making an A sound. A. They. Tricky word. We just have to know it by heart. This looks just like our sight word come, except it starts with S. That's right. Some. Very good. How about this one? It looks like a word like this, her, but it has an extra E, which makes it here. Again, it's a tricky word. It's not a sounding out word. That's why we have to know it by heart. Of, right? Because of is not a word that I know, but of is a word that I know. When I add an extra F, it becomes off, like get off. But this is of, okay? What do we know in this one? We know this sound. We know is his. Right? I can sweep it together and say, does that sound like a word that I know? How about this? We all know this part because we know our H Brothers friends. Shh. It's the only vowel, so that means it's going to say its name, right? Sh, e, she. So it looks like me and B. So now we've got sh, e, she. Up. Whoop. Get. And is it on or no? We have to pay attention to the first sound because on and no use the same two letters. It all depends on the order. No. Good job. All right, are you ready to read these words to me? Here we go. Your turn.